So, we are here with the third game of International Mega Circuit. I am playing against Nametab. But before going into the team, I have to give one disclaimer about this game. I don't need to win to qualify to playoffs. All I need is to get 3 kills here. Because of tiebreakers and differential, if I manage to get 3 kills, even if I lose, if I got 3 kills, I qualify. On the same way, my opponent doesn't just need to win, they need to win 4-0 or more. He needs to always keep at least 4 Pokemon alive. Which is... it affects how you prep, right? Originally I had a different team. I had like a Terabug, defensive Arcanine, and a mostly defensive team. But I completely scratched that and I went for an offensive team that is forcing kills. So keep that in mind. Every decision that I made with this team is in order to get 4 kills. So let's just begin with the analysis of the matchup. There's a Teramoth, extremely scary. There's a Megalopony, which is also extremely scary. Like, look at my resists. What resists fighting in my team? There's a Mew, and there's a Thundurus, which is not good into that. Dhelmise, but not into Megalopony because of Scrappy. There's a Rillaboom. I have so many grass resists: Scizor, Rorymoon, Arcanine, Thundurus, Duraludon, Dhelmise, and Magnemite. I have way more resists, but I do have Swampert, so maybe it goes for the Swampert. Arcaludon, so hard to kill. Like Arcaludon, between resisting the stabs of Thundurus, resisting the stabs of Scizor, resisting Psychic for the Mew. It's very good defensively into me. It's also very scary to switch into. Rocks are always a good way to force sweeps, because he needs to sweep and it's way harder to sweep without rocks. So I expect that. On the same vein, there's a Fortress, which is probably going to be setting up hazards. Maybe Toxic Spikes, because I lack any grounded poison, and just try to win that way. Vaporeon maybe can try Calm Mind sweeps. I don't know, I have a Poliwrath. I don't really expect much from that. Sandy Shocks, in a practice match I got swept by Iron Defense Body Press Sandy Shocks, so I have to keep this in mind. And the scariest mon of all, Terra Hatterene. Because what's a way to 6-0 a game? You bring Terra Hatterene with Grassy Seed and Calm Mind and you sweep. Never dies and it kills everything. That's the scariest possible way that he has to attack my team. And there's also Crawdaunt, which, I mean, it's a Crawdaunt, it's always very strong. I do wall it with Poliwrath, but you never wall up Crawdaunt really. And well, there's a Cottonee. Anyway, let's just get right into the first mon. And you know how I said I am so scared of Hatterene? That's why I have this Mew. This Mew is the dedicated counter of Hatterene. I have Haze and Roost and Seismic Toss, which is very important to do consistent damage to Hatterene through the Grassy Seed and the Calm Mind. So this Mew is here purely to pivot. I have a lot of scary mons, as I said, because I have a lot of offensive getting kills mon, but those don't come in so easily. So I can just go into Mew and teleport into them. This Haze is always going to stop Hatterene from sweeping me. I cannot do Roar, I cannot do Encore because of Magic Bounce, but Magic Bounce does not stop Haze. And I also have Rocky Helmet, which hits its Draining Keys. Rocky Helmet is mostly here for Megalopony, I need it in range of other mons that you will see later. The defenses just allow me to beat both the physical and special offensive mons in his team. And why do I have Terra Fire? Mostly bait. Like, I have a different Terra planned for later that you will see, but I want to have Terra Fire because imagine I have Mew and, spoiler alert, I have Rorymoon. I don't want him to click Dazzling Gleam predicting the switch, so I have Terra Fire so that he's maybe scared of clicking Dazzling Gleam on the switch and maybe he clicks a poison move or something, and I can get the Roaring Moon in safely. Anyway, as I said, I have a Roaring Moon. This Roaring Moon, as you see, is very bulky, very defensively oriented. This Roaring Moon is here to beat the Iron Moth. I have Rosalie Berry, so that Dazzling Gleam does not kill me. I have so much bulk that imagine it's a speed boost. And I switch into a Fiery Dance. It gets the boost, and then next turn it clicks Dazzling Gleam, it doesn't kill me. I survive, if I remember correctly, even max special attack. Fiery Dance, sorry. Getting a boost into a Dazzling Gleam from a 252 special attack Iron Moth does not kill me. And I kill it with Earthquake. The problem is it's Terra Moth, like I need coverage. That's why I have the Brick Break. In case it's like, it could be Air Balloon with Terra Steel or something. That's why I need the Brick Break. It also helps with screens that could come. Sandy Shock screens into a sweep. It's a very likely possibility he needs to sweep. He also gets dual screens in Arcaludon and Hatterene, so he has at least 3 dual screeners. I don't know if any other mon in this team gets dual screens, maybe. I can just remove them. And Fire Fang is very important to hit Fortress. I could be mixed, but Fire Fang also helps me with some Terras from the Iron Moth, right? So I think this is just the ideal combination of moves. I don't need different stabs, knockoff is enough, and yeah, that's what the Roaring Moon is doing here. And of course I have speed for the Sandy Shocks, sorry, for the Iron Moth, not the Sandy Shocks, well, the Sandy Shocks too, but Iron Moth is the important part. If it's faster, it's booster speed and it's not doing anything. He needs to get a Fiery Wrath race into a Dazzling Gleam crit in order to kill me. Next up, now we start with the offensive mods that I keep talking about. Choice Band Swampert. Look at the switchings into Earthquake in his team. There's Rillaboom, and that's it. And Rillaboom, if it were to come, gives me very free flip turns. Like, flip turn is very free into him, and I can go into offensive mods that threaten the Rillaboom. The only big problem is if both Rillaboom and Vaporeon come. Because if Vaporeon comes, I never wanna click flip turn. If Rillaboom comes, I never wanna click Earthquake. The combination is very strong into me. I also put Roar here. It just helps with some scary setup mons, like imagine a Calmine Vaporeon or an Iron Defense Sandy Shocks. I can just roar them, and it's just in case. And then there's Earthquake, knockoff, which is like a good... It's a good move to click in case I'm in the big scary position of Rillaboom Vaporeon. I know that knockoff will help them both. I do not want to be Ice Punch because that is bad into Vaporeon. And knockoff always helps into both. Eventually I will kill them thanks to knockoff removing their item and all the damage, and I will be able to lock into the move that I want, either Earthquake or Flip Turn. And speed is like for Vaporeon, like I'm not speed creeping anything specific, but in case Vaporeon were to put some speed for me, I put some speed for it. Next offensive mon, this Zundurus. First of all, I am special this week with Thunderbolt. Let's look at the resist of electric, right? Rillaboom, Arcaludon, Sandy Shocks, and Cottonee. Let's ignore Cottonee, and I can hit Arcaludon with Focus Blast and Sandy Shock with Grass Knot. I am walled by Rillaboom, I know. I don't know if Rillaboom would ever come. As I said, I have like 6 or 7 resists to Grass, so I'm not very worried about that. I have a wide lens because I don't want to miss Focus Blast. It goes from 70s to 77. A very easy way to lose a game like this 4-0 is missing, so I'm not missing. And also I have Thunder Wave, which is like it's my check to Iron Moth in case it gets out of hand when Roaring Moon is dead or when Roaring Moon gets crit. And Wild Lens makes Thunder Wave will go from 90% accuracy to 99% accuracy. So I only a 1% chance to miss. If I miss, well, that's what happens. But yeah, this is very scary to run. I need to hit Focus Blast, even with Wide Lens only 77. It's less than a Stone Edge. More than a Magma Storm, but still very scary, and if possible I never want to put myself into positions where I need to hit it. Anyway, next up, Mega Scizor. This Mega Scizor is a double purpose Mega Scizor. Why? I have the fog to remove the hazards from Fortress, but I am also a sweeper with Bullet Punch. I have a lot of speed for Arcaludon. Arcaludon needs to put speed to be faster than me, like a significant amount. And I can just kill it with +2 close combat. Let's say it's Chopple, of course, or very defensive. But still, what resists still in his team? There's the Iron Moth, the Arcaludon, the Vaporeon, and the Sandy Shocks. A Crawdont, I guess. And almost all of these get hit for a lot of damage from close combat. Not the Iron Moth, it resists both of my moves. I don't care, I do a lot with +2 Bullet Punch, and if it has Terrad, it's just going to die. Yeah, I don't know going into this game how much work this is going to put into, because it only works after the Iron Moth has Terrad, and if it Terrad into something that does not resist steel. Even then I have problems with Arcaludon, but it's always good to have the defog option. A very easy way for me to lose is Toxic Spikes go up, because look at how many mons in my team get hit by them. So far I have shown 3 mons that are not boots, and now the last mon, who is also not boots and also gets wrecked by hazards, the Arcanine. This Arcanine is here to sweep with extreme speed. Let's look at the normal resists. There's a Fortress and an Arcaludon. Fortress just dies to Flare Blitz, not if it has Sturdy up, but that's not that scary, even though I don't have hazards in any mon in my team. I'm not that scared about the possibility of Sturdy being up by the time this comes to sweep, because this coming to sweep late game. And close combat for the Arcaludon. I have speed, Arcaludon needs a lot of speed to be faster than my Arcanine, and extreme speed with Silk Scarf. Actually, I'm not Silk Scarf, sorry, this is wrong, I'm going to edit it later. You will have seen the correct answer, which is this Life Orb Arcanine. This Life Orb Arcanine is here to just kill everything at +1. The only monster, like, Lopunny dies to +1 extreme speed after I get the Rocky Helmet from Mew. And Iron Moth could be Terra Ghost, possibly, to be immune to my extreme speed. If it is Terra Ghost, it dies to my Bullet Punch. The only problem would be like Terra Steel, because Terra Steel is both immune to, well, resist to extreme speed and Bullet Punch, but even then it does a lot. And also I have Flash Fire, so that it cannot hit me for a lot of damage with its fire moves. And I doubt it would ever be a Slush Wave here, because a Slush Wave is hitting no Pokemon in my team for super effective damage. It's probably just going to be, what? Fiery Wrath, Dashing Gleam for my Roaring Moon, Energy Ball for my Swampert. That's the main move that I am expecting in this matchup. Anyway, that's it for the team. Again, I am just going for the kills, nothing more. And yeah, let's just get into the game. So here we're into the game. First of all, what did he not bring? No Cottonee to be expected, no Crawdont, probably to be expected, no Rillaboom. To be expected, because look at my team, I have 4 Grass Resists and some more that didn't come. But it's still very good that there's no Rillaboom for my Swampert Clicking Earthquake. And there's no Sandy Shocks, which could be scary, like maybe not really. It swept me in one prep game, so maybe it should be scary. Anyway, let's just get into the game. I have a planned lead Thundurus, because look at his team, it's good into almost any lead. It's not good into Mega Lopunny lead, because Mega Lopunny gets to click triple axle, but I go into Mew and get a lot of chip with my Rocky Helmet, and everything else is bad into a lead Thundurus. So yeah, we start here. Oh, also something that I forgot to mention, sorry, the Terra Captains, because this is Terra Preview, I know that this is Terra Fire Moth, and he knows that I am Terra Fire in my Mew and Terra Normal in my Arcanine. Also his second Terra Captain, the Hatterene, is Terra Ground. Terra Ground is such a weird Terra and makes me think that he's not Calm Mind. Why would you ever be Calm Mind a Terra Ground instead of a Terra that makes you resist the moves in my team? When I'm seeing this, I'm thinking, okay, it's probably a Solvest, and it's his dedicated lead to Thundurus, because look at his team. He didn't bring Rillaboom nor Sandy Shocks, everything dies to the stabs of Thundurus, except Arcaludon, who dies to Focus Blast, so he's probably a Solvest Hatterene with Terra Ground to be immune to the Thunderbolts. Now, on this lead, why would he lead a Fortress? Well, he needs to sweep, right? And get at most to death in his team. So I think he's making a Gambit. He's making a Suicide lead Fortress with Toxic Spikes and Rocks and Spikes, probably. And he just plans to set them up as soon as possible and then sweep me thanks to the hazards gotten from the Fortress. I know this, which is why I'm just going to start clicking Thunderbolt. I don't care about the hazards that much because of my default Scizor, so he probably sees my team and thinks I'm probably not removable in anyone, but I am. So this is gonna be a good trade for me. I get a big Thunderbolt and he reveals to be Citrus Berry. Now, Citrus Berry is very weird, I don't know why that was here, but I mean that's good for me, it means he's not Gustab. I wouldn't have put him in Gustab range because of the damage that I dealt, but who knows, it was a roll, maybe he would have gotten the Gustab. Anyway, so he's probably not switching here unless he's a Solvest Hatterene, which I expect, but into a Solvest Hatterene my best click before it Terras is Thunderbolt, so I'm just going to click Thunderbolt again. I get the kill, very good for me, he lost an entire Mon just for that. Iron Moth comes in, I have a dedicated switch in the Roaring Moon. Yes, it's going to take the T-Spikes before I manage to remove them, but every other Pokemon in my team dies or takes Toxic Spikes anyway, so I'm just going to let him get the Toxic Spikes on me. Also here, he revealed that he has some wrong prep of some kind. Later he revealed that it was the wrong Terra and Iron Moth. He wanted to have a different Terra, not Terra Fire, but Terra Fire obviously still works perfectly because of the Fiery Breath. So he's switching, he gets a big Fiery Dance, sorry, it's a Fiery Wrath, it's Fiery Dance. And no boost, it doesn't matter because I am faster anyway, unless he's Scarf. And I'm just going to get a big hit now. He's not booster energy, which means knockoff is very strong into him. I am not going to survive a Dazzling Gleam later because of the Toxic Spike damage. Like, now I'm going to stay in and I'm going to take Toxic Spikes, later I'm going to take Toxic Spikes and I'm just going to die to the Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't matter anyway. Like, this Iron Moth, I don't need to check it forever, and now that it's Terra Fired, first of all, if it's not a Scarf, it's going to take a lot of damage from my Thundurus. Also, it's going to take a lot of damage from my Extreme Speed. At this point, I don't know what kind of Iron Moth this is. He switches, so at least I know it's not Focus Sash. Anyway, he switches into Arcaludon, Stamina, and Chople Berry. Okay, he wanted Chople Berry to survive a Focus Blast and kill my Thundurus, or survive a Close Combat from my Scizor. Doesn't matter. Now, as I said, Mew, Swampert, and Arcanine, all of them take Toxic Spikes. I'm just going to use this opportunity to remove them. I don't need to sweep with my Scizor, I'm probably not going to because the Iron Moth is a Terra that resists steel. So I'm just okay with coming in with Scizor, taking a lot of damage from Body Press, Mega in, I survive another, and I just get the removal. So Scizor comes in, not a lot of damage from Body Press, only 38. I can Terra and get a defog off, and I get paralyzed. First of all, he has some speed investment, because I have a lot more speed than a 0 speed Arcaludon. So he has a decent amount of speed investment, like not over 100 necessarily, but he has some speed investment. I think he has at least over 40. I get fully paralyzed. It doesn't matter that much, because I survive another Body Press, so as long as I don't get fully paralyzed again, I remove the Toxic Spikes. I don't care about the Scizor, I just need to remove them, and then I am happy to lose the Scizor. He reveals Foul Play, which does more damage than the Body Press would have done. You saw 38 earlier, but that was pre-Terra. After Terra it does less. It doesn't matter to me that much. I get fully paralyzed again. If 2 Body Presses would not have to hit KO'd me. 2 Foul Plays do, as you saw, 31. Being paralyzed again means that if I stay in, I can die. It's a roll, but I can die. And I don't have any other removal. No Terra Poison, no nothing. I will be affected by Toxic Spikes. Unless I switch. Because I don't actually need to stay in. And you say, but when are you ever removing the Hatterene? Hatterene is so slow that it is slower than a paralyzed Mega Scizor. Unless he's max speed Hatterene, but come on, it's not max speed Hatterene. Well, maybe if it's like agility it would be, but I don't expect that to be the case. And even then, Hatterene probably switches out expecting Bullet Punch. So yeah, I am going to save this Scizor to get a defog later of the Toxic Spikes. I cannot let half of my team be paralyzed. I switch into Thundurus. Foul Play does a good amount of damage, and it reveals to him that I am fully special, because he would have done a lot more if I was mixed. This is the damage that you do into a 0 attack, minus attack, and 0 IVs Thundurus. Anyway, I remove the Chopper Berry, he dies to Focus Blast here. He switches into Hatterene and takes 11%. He reveals to be lefties, and yeah, like it was the Solvest like I predicted, but it was still the switching into Hatterene that I did predict. Now, what can I go into here? I can maybe sack the Roaring Moon to get the Scizor in for free and remove. Or I can go hard into the Scizor. I die if he clicks Mystical Fire. Yes, but I don't know if he wants to click Mystical Fire knowing that I could switch into Swampert, for example, or even the Arcanine. He doesn't know that my Arcanine is not Boots. And he knows that I don't need Intimidate, so I'm probably Flash Fire, because I cannot intimidate the Mega Lopunny anyway, so I'm probably Flash Fire. And if a Boots Arcanine comes in and needs a Mystical Fire, I will be forcing a lot of damage into someone. Which is why I said, okay, I'm going to go into Scizor. If you click Mystical Fire, it's over, but I don't think you will. And he doesn't. He clicks Psychic Noise. I survive on 10%. 10%. I am faster, and I think he will switch. Even if I get paralyzed again, I can switch out and later sack him onto Hatterene and get another chance. But I'm just going for the fog. Please don't get fully paralyzed a third time, but even if I do, I have still a chance later by sacking the Roaring Moon. Anyway, also I cannot click Roost, which I do not have. I get the defog off. Finally, no Toxic Spikes, no Pokemon, the Swampert, the Arcanine, the Mew, all of them, they are safe. And there are no more Toxic Spikes, unless the Iron Moth were to be the second Toxic Spiker, which makes no sense. This Mega Scizor has done its job, it's not going to do anything anymore anytime. I just sack it. I do not click Bullet Punch, because, who knows, maybe his last move is Rocks and he clicks Rocks here. I just click Close Combat. He was Draco Meteor apparently. Weird choice. I mean, it makes sense to click it there. because the Thundurus would not take any damage, would not take a lot of damage from body press or foul play. There are committer of foul play, body press, Thunder Wave, which means probably he saw only Star Broker was Fortress and he was hoping to get 2 Star Rocks on the lead. And I don't care, and he lowered his special attack, meaning that if I go into Swampert, he's probably gonna want to switch. Like, he doesn't have an attack boost, and foul play from his point of view is not doing much because he doesn't know that I am choice band. Now, another thing that could happen is he switches into Hatterene, expecting rocks. Like, this is the rocker in my team, unless Mew is the rocker. So he thinks he can prevent them, especially because the Hatterene does not get 2 hit KO by an standard Swampert. But I am not. I just click the Earthquake. Look at all that damage! 85%! This is a Hatterene! Swampert is so damn strong. And as I said, I just need to force 3 kills. I did so much damage. I just forced the second kill. And now, what can he go into? Only Iron Moth. Because everyone else is going to get either die or take way too much damage from this Earthquake. It has to be Iron Moth and click in Energy Ball. And I still have my Roaring Moon, which as I said is the counter. He doesn't click Dancing Gleam. I'm not sure it would have killed me or not, it depends on his item. Because of the Rosalie Berry, which is still intact. He clicks Energy Ball, so I do not die. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have died to the Dancing Gleam looking at the Energy Ball damage. It doesn't matter, I survive and I get a big hit off. Now, what do I hit? I click Earthquake. I got a little greedy, like clicking Knockoff would have been amazing. I would know what item the Iron Moth was. And I would have removed the item of a possible switch. And it doesn't matter that much. Also, at this point I'm pretty confident this Iron Moth is joist locked, because it always clicks one move and switches, and Terra Fire Scarf makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it probably just choose Scarf. Anyway, this Vaporeon comes in, Rebels to be lefties. I will die to Poison, but just in case I am going to click Knockoff. I don't want to switch and get hit by a big Scald. Imagine I switch to Thundurus and die to Ice Beam. Imagine I switch to Swampert and get Scald burned. And I don't want to switch to Mew because Mew doesn't beat this 1v1. And obviously I'm not switching the Arcanine into this Vaporeon. So yeah, I'm just content with clicking Knockoff, dying, and getting my Choice Band Swampert in. Protect, okay, as I said, I don't care that much. And now, I decide to go into Thundurus instead of Swampert. Why? Swampert falls a kill immediately. Thundurus kind of does, but a big important difference is, if my Swampert is slower than a speedy Vaporeon, like Vaporeon needs some speed, I don't remember how much, I believe over 60 speed, but if it has that speed, clicks Scald, and burns my Swampert, I can instantly lose the game. Like, imagine this Vaporeon is Wish, Protect, Calm Mind, Scald. I go into Swampert, it gets Scald Burn, I do less than half, and it starts clicking Wish, Protect. I will lose the game because he gets the Calm Mind earlier. I will not immediately lose the game because my Mew can haste, but Mew takes a lot of damage, and Mew does not beat this 1v1 because I am Seismic Toss instead of Psychic Noise. I do not stop the recovery, and my other moves are, I have Seismic Toss, Haste, Recovery, and Teleport. I do not beat this 1v1. And everyone in my team can lose 1v1. The Arcanine can take a lot of damage from Scald. I need to come in and then Terra, but even then he can burn me after Terra, and I do not want to KO this because I am not double edge. And the Thundurus, yes, I do a lot of damage, but he can start getting Calm Minds and I lose 1v1, and he can also always switch into Arcalugon and I miss Focus Blast. So yeah, all of this is to say why I didn't go to Swampert, even though most of the time Swampert is the best click possible. Most of the time going into Swampert forces the kill immediately instead of all of the shenanigans that can happen with Honduras. Anyway, Big Thunderbolt. He's Ice Beam. He isn't just Ice Beam. He has a lot of special attack. I don't die to a 0 special attack Ice Beam from that range. And yeah, I lost a mon, but I can finally force the kill. Now, why did I go into Swampert to force the kill, even though I said all of the things about the Scald? First of all, I think that Mew doesn't kill it with Seismic Toss after Protect. He would be at 21. I'm not sure if that kills, and even then he can switch. Arcanine may not be able to force a kill, because he can switch into Arcaludon and get a defense boost, maybe switch later, I don't know. Swampert does, even if the thing that I said that would happen happens, meaning he's faster and he gets Scald Burn, he will not survive, because he's way too low on SP. This is going to force the kill, and I'm going to get the 3 kills that I need to qualify to playoffs. Protect, okay, he gets the lefties, still not out of range of a burnt Earthquake, and I am faster. Okay, I am in playoffs, but this is not over. Making playoffs isn't everything. If I get a better seed, I go against a worst opponent, right? Worst in terms of the record that they got. If I lose this game, I will be second seed, and I will go against a person that was first seed in their division. And if the opposite happens, if I get the first seed, I go against someone that is second. I prefer to win, and I'm going to play for the win anyway. The position, like everything I have done so far, was to force the win with, the 3 kills, not to force the win. Look at the Lopunny. Arcanine, if he Terracid dies, this Swampert takes a lot. This Iron Moth, like, he can do a lot of damage. I am not in a perfect position right here. Anyway, Iron Moth comes in. I switch. He clicks Discharge. What? First of all, hard prediction, right? Because if I stayed in with Swampert, I was immune and I got a kill. Why is he Discharge? Let's remember my draft, right? What Pokemon did I not bring? I didn't bring Duraludon. Sorry about that. I didn't bring Duraludon. I didn't bring Delmice. I didn't bring Magnemite. All 3 Pokemon that resist Discharge. The only Pokemon in my entire draft that is weak to Discharge is Poliwrath, which is equally weak to Energy Ball. So why is he Discharge? Because he wants the Paralyze. His game plan was fully paralyzing me with Discharge and winning that way. This is so disgusting. But he doesn't get the para, and if he did, he would have gotten synchronized and paralyzed himself, making him slower. So yeah, this is amazing. Fairy Breath, and I teleport. I decide to teleport because I don't want to switch into Arcanine, and he clicks Discharge again and I get fully paralyzed. And again, a paralyzed Iron Moth is slower than Swampert if he's not Scarf, right? I do think he's Scarf, but still, that's good for me. And he just revealed that he's not Scarf. I was wrong this entire game. I don't know what item this is, but clearly not Scarf. Anyway, I get in my Arcanine, which, as I said before, is Flash Fire. I am immune to Fairy Dance. He revealed Energy Ball and Discharge. There's no way you would ever run Iron Moth without dashing Gleam into my Roaring Moon. So I know that after Terra, the best move that he has to click into me is Energy Ball, which is base 90, or maybe Discharge, which is base 80, but can paralyze. I am in a very good position here, and I can start clicking Howl. He goes into Arcaludon, and I click the Howl. He is going to die to this close combat because, remember, all the way back, turn 4, knockoff Chopper Berry. He's not Chopper Berry anymore. He's going to die to close combat, and I have a lot of speed. He has some speed, because he cannot be 0 speed and be faster than my Scizor. But he needs even more speed for Arcanine than he needed for Scizor, sorry. So, I am probably going to get the kill. I am not going to Terra so that I never die even to a crit body press. And the best he can do is click Thunder Wave or Foul Play. He's slower. Okay, he dies. Now, what happens here? First of all, I take the chip. Okay. Mega Lopunny does not get one hit KO'd by a +1 Terra normal extreme speed if he has some. He doesn't need a lot of bulk, but you know, if he, for example, I think it's a roll. If he only speed grabbed my Roaring Moon, and if he ignored the Roaring Moon, or predicted me to not be max speed Roaring Moon, which sometimes happens, he will survive. If I lose Arcanine, every other Pokemon in my team dies to Iron Moth. I can never lose this Arcanine. What do I need in order to kill Lopunny? Chip from Rocky Helmet. After Chip, he dies to +1 Terra normal extreme speed, and he dies to Earthquake. So all I need here is to just switch into Mew, sack it, and get Rocky Helmet. Let's see. He clicks return. Okay, no fake out. Fake out would have obviously been better for me because I get two rounds of chip of Rocky Helmet, but it doesn't matter. I have him in range of Earthquake. And even if he is bulky and survives the Earthquake, he will die to extreme speed, and Iron Moth, as I said before, loses 1v1 to Arcanine. This is the position that I needed. I know it hurts always to switch a Pokemon that has already set up, in this case the Arcanine, but sometimes a Pokemon that has already set up is not as good at sweeping as that same mon without having setting up after you get chip with other mons. In this situation, I needed to switch out the mon that I had set up. And now Swampert, as long as I don't get crit, will win, because the Iron Moth, if it switches in, is going to die. Unless it's Focus Sash, which still could be, but if it's Focus Sash, I will be able to set up a Howl with Arcanine and win. So, he clicked return. Even a crit wouldn't have killed me. Maybe he should have clicked Close Combat, because Close Combat crit could have killed me. Doesn't matter, he didn't crit anyway, and I get the kill. Now it's Iron Moth versus the World. It will kill this mon. Obviously I'm never going to switch into Arcanine. And now I have my Arcanine in, and I still can lose because of Discharge. Discharge, paralyzing me, makes me eventually die if I keep getting fully paralyzed, like it happened before with my Scizor. So, there's two ways to win here, right? Howl into extreme speed, or extreme speed into extreme speed. But there's a difference. If I click extreme speed twice, I take 2 rounds of Life Orb. But if I click Howl, it means I have 1 extra turn of being fully paralyzed. Look it this way. If the Arcanine clicks extreme speed, I move before. He clicks Discharge, I am paralyzed, and I need to move once, the second extreme speed, to win. If I click Howl, he will first click Discharge, then my Howl, then my extreme speed, meaning I have 2 moves after Discharge instead of just 1, meaning twice the chances of being paralyzed and losing the game. That is why I decide to click extreme speed first. I don't kill. I could have killed with a crit, I don't crit. Still, I reduced my chances of losing. He clicks Discharge, and he gets the para. Okay. I do not die to a second move unless he's Slush Wave and he decided to have a Slush Wave be his only way to hitting Roaring Moon instead of Dazzling Gleam. It could still be, because as you saw in my previous videos, I used the Terra Fairy Mew. Maybe he predicted Terra Fairy Mew and ran a Slush Wave. A Slush Wave still hits Roaring Moon for a decent amount of damage. Here I have only one click, always, it's extreme speed. I always click extreme speed because clicking anything else risks a crit. Let's see if I lose to 2 paralysis like I did with my Scizor. I don't. And I win the game. I am 3-0. I go into playoffs being the first seed. My next game is going to be against Cavern. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I have ever uploaded a game against Cavern in this channel. And so this will be the first. I have played a lot of time against him. And he has a very interesting draft. You will see. Anyway, that's it for the game. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.